Good evening. I got a magazine today in the mail, and it's about the population connection. Population growth adds to world's water woes. Drought crisis. Well, complicated crisis. I left some words out. I'm sort of hot from the heat. Like with the heat index is like 110. So I think it's affected me in more ways than I like to admit. But okay, the United Nations World Water Development Report 2015, Water for a Sustainable World. And the world's population is growing by 80 million people per year. Population growth, urbanization, industrialization, increased productions and consumptions have all generated ever-increasing demand for freshwater resources. Now you have to understand, when they talk about the population problem is because of the earth. Because we live in cities, because we live in cluster groups, and we're no longer living off the land, be it nomadic or more tribal type of farming, opposed to thinking ma and pa corporations farming. We have corporation now. And by 2030, the world is projected to face a 40% global water defect. Under the business as usual climate scenario, climate change will exaggerate the risks associated with variations in the distribution and availability of the water resources. So you also understand another reason why the population growth is be 80 million per year when it comes to reference to water is because of the pollution, because of like say the plastic that we use, plastic bags, plastic bottles, in the water, baby diapers, or nuclear plants, or drilling for oil, and gas, consumption leaks, and just weather and litter too. We're throwaway consumers. We're not living off of nature, so nature has a hard time breaking it down. So we are actually have you might say sort of fucked up 40% of our water, which is causing for 80 million people not to have adequate water. Okay, you can think of it like that. Okay, so our industrial type of living is polluting our water in such a harmful way that by 2013 the world is projecting to face a 40% global water defect. You can think of it. I'm like reading between the lines. All right. But anyway, so 748 million people do not use improved source of drinking water. Do not use an improved source of drinking water, and 2.5 billion do not use an improved sanitary facility. So, okay. And another problem is I'm putting it to the heat, and plus I had a speech impairment anyway that I thought of, but I can never say this for the farming or agricultural account for roughly 70% of all fresh water used globally, and more than 90% in most of the world's least developed countries. So by 2050, our agriculture will need to produce 60% more food globally, 100% more in developing countries. So by 2050, we need to produce 60% more food and 100% more in developing countries. And I don't think we have the water. Currently, growth rates of agricultural demands on the world's fresh water resources are unsuitable. Okay, so because of our type of because of our type of industrialized living in the rural area, not in rural areas, but in urban areas, we have caused water not to be sustainable for looks like it's going to be about 40% of the global population. Okay, so about 1.2 billion right now people live in areas where the water is physically scarce. It's very scarce. The ecological, anyway, stability of water available has exceeded its limit for about 1/3 of the human population and will be rising to about 1/2. So for right now, the way we have polluted our water, the way, you know, like our cars are leaking oil, our fracking, or even, you know, or using plastic bags, the way we are hunting for fish in the ocean, all this has caused us to have 40% of our usable water not usable. And what date do they have it by? 2030. So the limit for 1/3 of the human population, it will raise to about 1/2 by 2030. Oh, it's not. It doesn't. It's okay. So by 2050, global water demand is projected to increase by 55%, mainly from growing urbanization in developing countries such as United States, China, Japan, London, Germany, etc. Okay, so basically, our way of life, you're not going to be able to, even if you do wipe out half of the population. It's like, if you think there's the population growth, we need more abortions, or kill half the population with war, or with, you know, gay people, or whatever. That it won't matter, because no matter, even if you do decrease the population by 80, well, it's 80 million. Well, that 80 million is what's going to increase, but you want to decrease it by 90 million. But anyway, even if you did so, because the water itself is so polluted, that you could decrease population by 100 million, and it won't affect that 50% of the water, it won't be usable because of industrialized pollution. Oh well, I just got tonight. It's the second time I tried to do this, but it's a little hard. I just got it today, and I guess I just don't like what California section. Yeah, California in here too. California probably going to exceed it, outstrip water consumption in the coming years. Again, California had rerouted its water to use it in an area where it wasn't used naturally before, and well, we do have a water problem, and it looks like the first date is 2020. This is in about 5 years, so in about 15 years, our water should be, if we continue this rate of consumers being consumers. And you have to think, as consumers, remember, slaves were able to buy their way out of slavery, as they was giving a minimum wage, you know, what do you call a living wage? They was giving a living wage. But here, I don't think we could buy our way out of slavery. Alright, we have a water problem.